Hey everybody, welcome back to the Marijuana Minute.
Hey.
Got a guest today. I'm Dan Dennis, owner of Just Breathe Finger Lakes.
Travis Williams, I'm the Cannabis Cultivation Manager at Taproot Fields. Happy to be here. Known this guy for a real long time. Really just got to know Josh down in New York City at the Cup. These guys did an incredible job. I can't wait to go down again next year. It's gonna be fun.
You won. Yeah, congratulations.
I'm ecstatic that I won. That's how I like when I came on stage. I was overwhelmed with joy.
And not their first awards either. There's a laundry list of awards we got on the case over there as well. From the that was from summertime, right? Was it June?
Yeah, New York Small Farm event in back in April. We entered that, and we took home first and second place with that cup as well.
So
that
first and second.
First and second. I couldn't. I was.
I didn't see you
blown away by that. Yeah. No, the first came. LA Kush Cake was a strain we bought in. It was like 2018. We got the seeds at Emerald Cup, started them, and found a really good pheno. And
is a lot of your stuff from seed that you guys are running now?
Not a lot of it, but like some of it. The Crazy Runts and the LA Kush Cake was from seed, And so we're getting clones from a nursery right now, New York Nursery. Shout out to those guys. Those guys got some good genetics going. But yeah, no. Once we get propagation going, we will be doing a lot of our own genetics and popping seeds and doing a lot of stuff, a lot of crosses that I've been working on for the past couple of years.
So you guys are actually, because we've done the Cup, this is the third year of the Cup, and you guys are the first licensed farm to win any place in any category.
Oh, shit, I didn't know that either.
No, it's crazy. And so, how's that feel? Like, because it's interesting, we're going on 3 years, so we have a lot of really good growers. It's not like you're going up against a bunch of amateurs. It's a lot of these people in New York they're top of the line.
Yeah. I know the amount of talent that was in that room. When I looked at the booklet, when I got there, I'm like, oh my God, like look at all these flavors. I didn't think I stood a chance. Like,
how many contestants were there?
I think we had 140 entries.
Holy shit!
Yeah, like there was like 32 in the sweets category that we won with.
And that's tough. Great growers, everything. Yeah, it's historical, and it's funny too because I remember when Taproot and you guys just started out, and a lot of local people are just already turned off about illegal presence. So it was like I think you guys face like a wall that legacy people don't have to go over, and you're a legacy.
Yeah, I'm legacy.
But
yeah.
Which is funny too, because everyone, for even still, you hear there's nothing on the legal market. Everything on the illegal market's way better. Again and again, and you hear this, and well, apparently, that kind of puts some things in perspective of the way it is.
Yeah, I think as the well, I'll say like business, but as the industry as a whole moves forward, you're gonna get better and better at what you're doing, And so, like as coming out of legacy, these guys have been doing this for who the hell knows, like could be 20 years, 10 years, and they're perfecting their craft, but even in legacy or I want to say legal industry, you're gonna deal with all sorts of problems. I mean, it never ends.
Well, and I'm sure these guys too were facing it where they're still growing it in cornfields and and little sheds in any garage or wherever the hell they could set up shop. Where now the controlled environments, it's really changing the game on how they were approaching it because you have so many different variables now. And yeah, it's good. It's going to be better all the way around, but it's still a huge change from what they're used to, running jugs at night.
Right.
Out to be able to do their shit, not being able to look at everything and do their testing and get everything is so taking those variables out of it.
And you grew too, right? So like just
a little bit, honestly, but it was never really what I'm just never good at it.
No, you didn't like it?
No, shit. I mean, we even put a couple in the yard this year because everybody can have 6. And it's just the way you do it, especially around here. A couple tomato plants, put a couple plants in, and no. I shouldn't have to shame. I don't even show people.
Tough to grow. I mean, you got to have the right genetics in this area to really and give it attention. It doesn't.
Well,
doesn't grow itself.
That's the thing too, is living here. I wasn't really home, kind of, and it was almost more, and it was just for fun. But yeah, it just goes to show that it doesn't matter what you think your knowledge is. If you don't put the love, the time, take the variables out of it, and come from a scientific perspective, you're not going to get the best shit.
Right.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You don't get lucky.
Every round is different. You're only as good as your last round.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like to the consistency is huge, and in the legal market, the pressure is on the grower and your team to produce a good round every round, even though it might not happen because you're going to deal with this, and this. It's a struggle. It's there's sleepless nights. Plenty of sleepless nights. You never stop thinking about it.
Right. Well, that's what makes a good grower a good grower. That's why people always like, oh, growers are like weird. And it's like, yeah, because I'm not here. Like, I'm like still at the farm. Like, I'm thinking about,
Yeah. You're going to bed, not going to bed.
Right. Well, so you've been with Taproot since jump? Because Taproot's been, what, 4 years, 5 years?
Well, we knew when the hemp, what do you want to call it?
AUCC or whatever?
Well, no, it's when they passed that hemp bill.
Oh, yeah.
We found out in 2018 that they were going to start giving licenses out. So we got our license in 2018. We moved back in 2019. We were going to start doing an indoors operation, and then we found out the rent was just going to be too astronomical to do it.
In Skinny Atlas,
right outside of Skinny Atlas, and so our dreams were kind of crushed. And then Josh found that property that was like right in town, right outside of town, right that was adjacent to Welch Allen, and it was like, holy shit, like this is. He's like, well, why don't I buy this, and then we'll just we'll start from scratch. Which, there's a lot to that. We've put in now 6.5 years, and ups and downs, but we've learned a lot, and I think that is, we've learned the hard way, but we've learned a lot, and we're pushing forward. We built those greenhouses like right off the bat, and in 2019 we started building those, and then into 2020, and we're really trying to pick we're trying to figure out what style of growing we're going to do, and we knew we were doing regenerative outdoors, but we really kind of wanted to mimic that indoors. But I was a little scared to do it, And
so you were salts traditionally, like
salts. Salts. I mean, when I first started growing, like in the late '90s, it was like a little setup, and like we were doing like pro mix with
cool.
Well, it wasn't even that. It was like pro mix and like grow bags and like 2-gallon pots. I bow hunt, so I was using the arrows as my stakes, and it was a little closet grow, But we did pro mix with Fox Farm, Fox Farm grow big and what was it? The flower, Tiger Bloom, and then Big Bloom.
The bottles.
Yeah, the bottles. And which is salts in a way.
It definitely
it's old school.
Yeah,
so,
I grew some good weed with Fox Farm.
Me too.
I'm not gonna lie.
I loved when they came out with that Tiger Bloom. That Tiger Bloom was a game changer.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of which,
I mean, we got we're excited to announce officially, and it's funny because I relate to your guys' struggle where you're saying getting stuff out there and building a farm. We're only like a year into it, but we landed our first product on the legal market, which is 2 pre-rolls.
Yep.
Which it's kind of like our goal was to have a product on the shelves within a year of getting our license. Because it's when we first got our license, I was like, oh, we're gonna be operational in a month. I'm gonna have 100 lights, I'm gonna fucking go crazy, and it's just like the learning curve and everything is kind of a reality check. But we're still really proud of being able to get there.
Yeah,
we're excited.
That's a big thing.
We'll have it out here at Just Breathe as of Monday. We'll have them on the shelf as well, and super excited about that. And really, if you don't mind me saying too, we were having a conversation earlier that we're kind of really re-gearing the idea of what we're doing on the retail end now too, because moving into next year, we're really going to focus on small farms and small farmers, and really put that as our forefront of what we're backing as community and family, and really kind of giving the small farmers the credit that's due. And the reality is, as soon as you're getting most of the time a better product at a more conventional cost for the consumer anyway. There's nothing about it that doesn't make sense. We're really excited to kind of gear our entire business model more towards that whole situation.
That's awesome.
I think as more and more small farms come, to fruition like that, I think that's a good move, for sure.
Well, and especially on a local level too, because the reality is the bandwidth for some of the smaller guys to be able to fill only so many stores, but to go down and have for transportation, distribution. I mean, the bandwidth is the bandwidth. People are going to be limited to what they can really just supply. It's not like it's an endless tap water to say by any means. So I mean, it's hopefully it turns around and we're able to do that, and then have showcases like we're doing here on the podcast, and bring other small farmers in and give them that ability to get a platform and get their voice heard and get their brands known, because that's the whole thing. Is there's no Coca-Cola, there's no Jack Daniels yet. And that'll come down the line.
There's people trying to be.
Right, there is. And they're not really, and that's not really all that kosher, because you're not dealing on an even playing field.
When things started to go mainstream and the prices plummeted, there's something that's lost when cannabis is like commercialized, and I think you guys have been in the industry for a long time. I think that there's no way you're going to beat or stop like small local cannabis from being the top tier in each state. I don't think we're going to see a lot of import and export, even when it's federally legal. Right. That's going to be, I think the market is going to be craft. Like I think the whole thing is going to be.
And even where we're looking forward to the summer this year too, because we're right on the wine trail. When you go down the winery, and I just had this conversation with a friend of mine the other day, there's small wineries that may have a little bit of a higher price, but people go there. One, they want to support those individuals and the love that's going into every bottle that they're doing. And it's the same way, the love with every plant on a smaller level. When they're connecting on every level, it comes out in the product. And it shows the integrity of that brand and the families and the people behind that as well. And who doesn't want to get behind that? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure. That's the whole spirit of cannabis. So what do you feel like when you were walking on stage? Because I remember, bro, it's surreal. The whole New York Growers Cup was surreal. Yeah. But when I heard Taproot, I was literally behind there. I'm screaming. Yeah. I'm screaming and yelling. They cheated. No. No, but I kept saying that. Yeah.
To
me, man, it's history, bro. Like,
yeah.
I love it.
I feel like, I was riding in the car with Danny Danko afterwards, and he was like, this is history. This is monumental for you. You guys came in and you won a cup in a very tough market. It was big. I didn't expect to go down there and win. I wanted to go down there for the camaraderie and meet other people and do almost like a work trip. It was kind of like our Grow Crew's little work trip to New York City, and like just to connect with other growers.
That shit was dope.
Yeah, it was awesome. And hats off to you guys, because like I know what it takes to do it. Like that you guys are probably not getting paid for that. Like this is all love. This is all love for the industry, for growers. The fact that you guys are doing it, you're help building this community up, and that's really what it comes down to, and that's hats off to you guys.
The respect is known across the board by.
And the vibe that I got from all you guys was awesome. I feel like that we connected. Afterwards, obviously, but like I don't know.
We had fun.
We
smoked a ton of fucking weed.
It was
talked
good.
About the Syracuse sour. Controversial thing.
Oh God, I probably started some craziness there, but at least I said the picture that I know that I can relate to, that was the sour that we had in this area. Excuse me, was the Big Book of Buds Volume 2 at Rosenthal. If you look at that picture, that's the strain that we had. I mean, there's all different cuts. Excuse me.
Dude, I remember it too. Like, the very first, my first ever grow ever, I was like maybe 16 or 17. It was with like an OG grower, and he was doing the hydro aeroponics. Yep. And we had, I think, 3 or 4 cuts: cotton candy, sour, AK-47. I can't remember the other one, but the sour looked exactly like that picture. Yeah. And everything looked like a picture because there wasn't that many cuts, I think. I think it was just like,
It really wasn't. I moved to San Diego, I think it was like 2003, And I took a little bit of flour out there, and none of those guys have even seen it. It was kind of folklore for a while, you know, like people were hearing about this sour, and you know, everybody's talking about like, oh, we levitated off of it, you know, like if you're like the movie Half Baked, when you're like smoking weed and they're all levitating, like people were actually levitating off this weed, and like, you know, people are chasing that, you know, and so it was folklore for a while, and then like. The way I got my hands on it is we had a strain called the Hash Plant, and it was we used to call it Dirty Hippie because it actually smelled like an armpit, like a nasty like BO, like onion funk. And we had that. It was done really early. This was like
I still believe it.
42
bro.
days.
That's
I'm not
crazy.
joking. It was
nuts.
unbelievable. You ask
remember
Jared.
that.
I mean, you remember it.
Was it good?
It was really good. It grew really stout, really short, but like really fat, like dark leaves, and it like golf ball. It looked like almost like OG Kush.
Oh.
If I could get that back, I remember like, a good buddy of mine, Joe, from like Baldwinsville area, or not Baldwinsville, Binghamton area, ended up giving that to us. And then it just, I've said in the story, like I didn't want to meet Troy, he didn't want to meet me. It was way back, you know. But when I got that sour, it was, holy shit, it changed the game. I gave it to people in Rochester. That's how it got to like Buffalo, and
no shit.
Yeah, and it was crazy. It was.
Where are you from? You're from.
I'm from Auburn. I'm from Auburn, New York.
From
Auburn, New York. Yeah,
that's where I play basketball.
Prison City. Yep.
Prison City. Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
I won the basketball tournament over there.
Yep.
I'm winning again this year.
Yep. Nice.
I love Auburn, bro. Auburn is.
Auburn's fun. You know, it's we got the lake there. You know. I mean, prison.
It's got culture.
It's got culture.
Like,
you know.
It used to have a super music scene as well.
Yeah, punk used to go crazy.
There used to be a ton of venues, and the music scene was just super intense out of Auburn as well, which is weird for just a little town.
The old Penny Saver buildings.
Yeah, there was 10 bands. There's like 8 different bands that had different studios when we were younger. And on a Friday night, we all couldn't go to the bars. But you could go up and listen to any different music in any one of the studios and just chill for the night.
Yeah.
And
there was the one out on North Street, which was basically where Prison City is now.
Yeah.
That was one.
Then
You had the Penny Saver building was right next to St. Mary's, right downtown Auburn, right by the Prison City downtown.
And then the one behind Shammy's Car Wash.
Yep. No, that was a good. I mean, you had Spirits Tavern. That was, we grew up there. I think I was going there before I was of age at that point. But hats off to Lynn for keeping the dream alive. Moondogs, that is my favorite place in this area to go see live music. I love Lynn. I love what she does for our community. That is our little go-to spot. If you haven't checked out Moondogs,
The city's doing a great job for the community too.
Oh,
There's no
man.
doubt about it. They're super cool, and they're award-winning. They're award-winning brew that's coming out of their stuff.
Yeah, look
as well.
what happened with them. I mean, they won some really heavy awards and just started like, it's like I was saying, like it's like the when you're going up the roller coaster and it's like, you got that like momentum, and then it just blasts off, and now they're like being sold in Wegmans, and it's crazy.
Isn't that nice?
And they're good people too, like their brewery out on North Street, amazing place to go see music and vibe with people, and we still got a really good scene in this area.
So you guys drinkers then?
Little bit. I only drink usually, like I drink a couple beers after the cup, but I only drink when I'll go out and like watch some live music. I'll have a couple beers, but I'm not an everyday drinker. I'll smoke a joint at nighttime.
Yeah.
I do not smoke at work. I'm not a daily smoker. Like I'm every day usually, unless I'm sick. Yeah.
I figured you smoked 24/7.
Oh no,
No,
for sure.
When
I'm partying, I can't.
Right.
I can't smoke here.
Right.
There's no fucking way. We're constantly held to the knife on numbers and all the logistics of it.
I'd say there's
no way you can just blaze up and eat a gummy and just hang out and work here.
3 to 5% of the population can actually smoke all day and function. I am
So
not.
Well, it depends on
optimal
what your
to-
job is too.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
And I feel like we're probably 3 of the people who can function a lot better than most people. Like, I've been smoking since I was like 12, and I smoke and drive. And,
Yeah, 15, 16 was when I first started dabbling, but it was a love affair from there. Like some people's body chemistry doesn't agree with it.
Isn't that weird?
It's everybody's different, and so I don't know. My body chemistry did, and I was like, man, I actually like this, and I've quit numerous times. Numerous times I've quit, and I've always come back to I was like, man, I kind of like it. I like smoking weed. Why am I quitting this? Like, but there's a time and place for everything.
It's good to
there's a time and place
every now and then too.
No, I still will just stop. I just try not to.
I don't want to
or at least scale back.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I would, probation. You had to quit, but like, there's been times.
Most of the times, they haven't been voluntary. Don't let none of the three of us bullshit. No. Really, when we cleaned, it's like, hey, we're telling you got to pick your system out. Hey, okay.
It wasn't
I guess
hard.
now's the time to have to do that.
Yeah, it wasn't hard to quit.
Yeah, right. He said I had incentives.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of big things happening as well, what are you envisioning here over the next month with going on, and obviously with the launch and everything?
With New York Gangsters, me specifically, bro, we're gonna go crazy. So I mean, just like you were saying again, building out this farm and being compliant is kind of my number one priority, and I've kind of started to slow down. We've had our first harvest over there, but we're still waiting for the OCM to come and tell us what we're doing correctly, what we want us to change. So we're not gonna go too crazy. Like I said, we got the sourdough that we took down already. We got some zope and stuff like that.
Nice.
But we're gonna try to get that on the shelves at least January. It's funny because one of the things we're trying to do, I'm trying to get a group of micros. We probably know 10 of them, and we're in the conversation about this. And drop together. Go to dispensaries together. And try to get everybody in the store at once. For one, a lot of these other dispensaries, maybe they don't have the budget or they don't have the presence on Instagram or something to reach a lot of other people. I feel like we're kind of fortunate where you guys have been around for a while. I've had, but it's to try to help these other brands come up too is important.
Yeah, I think it's good to there's room for everybody. The market's asking for it. I'm hearing that a lot of these stores are asking for micro business herb.
Well, it's per region.
Smaller drops per region, exactly.
And there's things that happen in Rochester's known for the garbage plate.
Right.
You know what I mean? We got Bison's.
Shout out 6 Point Cannabis.
Hey, yeah.
Yep. But with Bison, we got their Loganberry drink because Loganberry's it's derived from being a Buffalo thing. You know what I mean? And so I think certain regions also will have those little niches that hopefully don't coincide with that, it's by brand, not only just the product, but by the branding and what the message that they're portraying of what they're wanting to achieve by their branding, by their product, what they're representing.
Right.
And I think you'll see that in the Adirondacks has a number of different niches as well, and I'm sure what they're growing up there will probably reflect some of that as well.
Yeah, I think it's I really can't wait to start pheno hunting and I love popping seeds. I said it in my first interview when I won those awards with the LA Kush Cake and the Crazy Runs. A good friend of mine popped those seeds. He got the pack of the Crazy. I got the pack of the LA Kush Cake, and you find stuff that nobody else has, but it resonates with you, and then you test it out through the community. We really started to know that we had a special thing when we were on the boat with my family, and my aunt hit the joint, and she doesn't really smoke that much, and she asked to hit the joint again, and we were like, you don't really smoke that much, and she was like, that tastes so good, I want to taste it again, and we knew we had a really good pheno that just resonated with everybody. It's lemon candy terps. It's bonkers, which is a lemon tree back crossed. It's got cookies and cream in there, and then it's crossed with a runts that is I'm pretty sure that runts that he used was from Fidel out of California, who also created the hash hole.
Yeah.
That particular runts was shown to me in 2008. I met all those guys. That was my first time going to Spanibus, and I was staying with Shiloh Massif and a bunch of Taylor Blake, and we were staying with them. I met those guys. And we met Fidel and his brothers. They have Cookies Maywood, and they were telling us about the runts. And then when I was living out there, I met them up in LA, and tried this runts that they had. I bought an ounce, and I morselled that ounce down to the last kernel. It was like sour D back in the day. It was so good. And then from there on, everybody had the runts, but it was never compared to the runts that those guys had. So,
I'm sure
I think it really comes down
from now, though, with as even from everybody cross country doing that back in the day. I'm sure a year from now, the conversation looking back that we're having now will be very funny, because especially if the micros start running together, they're all going to be looking to kind of crossbreed and seeing what comes out of whatever, and then you start popping off with mutual collaboration farm stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that
you
should
wanna,
be real interesting.
or
as
like
well.
you have a certain strains that that they're like in house. You're not sharing them with other people.
Right.
Nobody's breeding with them. But I really think that my excitement is I love popping seeds, and I can't wait till we can start doing that and have it in-house genetics. And I don't really want to go to a clone nursery. I want to make it all myself. I don't want to, because once you go to a clone nursery or just anywhere, if you're getting outside genetics, you're bringing in the bugs and problems, bro.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah,
like
100%.
you might be, like if you can hold it in-house, then you have nobody else to blame.
Right.
Not saying that but I've heard the horror stories of growers in California where they're getting cuts, and I'm not even shouting out, I'm not talking down on nurseries anywhere, because you just don't know. You got to quarantine stuff, and if you're not quarantined, then it's on you.
Yep.
And that's really what it comes down to.
My experience with clones has been terrible. Not even just that. I think that's the main thing, but also getting things that aren't the correct terms.
Right.
Getting these. We got a sour diesel cut that was Blue Dream. We got it's just like the best genetics I ever get is some old crazy, dude that made his own seeds from fucking the 80s, and he's like, dude.
Yeah.
Like that's still.
Yeah. You could go buy clones at at a cup or something. You don't know if that's the cut. They're selling you the lemon tree. You don't know.
Right.
Until you grow it out, and sometimes you do win the lotto.
Yeah,
I think with popping seeds, like if you find that unicorn pheno, that is a lotto hit, because
I got a couple of unicorns.
Unicorn. You gotta
Jesus is crazy.
you find a unicorn, you gotta trap it. You gotta study it. Just like the hot crazy girl matrix. When they explain the unicorn, they're like, capture it, study it. We wanna figure it out. But I think we're all chasing unicorns in the business. We're always wanting something new,
right?
And something that really resonates with the community as well. Like I said this in a couple posts, I can't grow just the herb that I like. I have to grow the herb that the community's like, and that super boof, the people love it.
Well, that's
people are. It got strain of the year on Leafly, and I was like, holy shit!
It's good.
It's good,
thing.
right? I enjoy it. It's not my favorite, but again, the communities love it. And so you got to grow what the community's like.
I'm curious to see what the feedback when people realize, that your stuff's now finally out. What is the feedback we're going to get when no one's looking? They come back in and they come back to the counter.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now that they hear, it won't be long before they start hearing about the awards, the awards that you guys won. Mm-hmm. But when that goes on the shelf, but when they actually get it, they buy it just because it's been hyped up, or when they get it and they come back and they're like, yeah, that's the shit.
Right.
I don't even need talking right. That's what I want. That's what I'm going to get.
Right.
I hope it works, and it's just like how I always sold weed and made my name was like, in an ocean of people who sold weed and drugs or whatever, I sold the best weed ever. It was always a super goal. I hope that people fall in love with our brand, right?
Yeah.
No, goddamn it, everywhere. No, but I hope that people fall in love with our brand and come back because just we really grow. That's what our main thing is. I can tell you're obsessed with weed.
I am.
I can tell.
Your heart and soul's into it.
It
right?
is. It's the only thing I
lived and breathed it. I've always been a big weed person my whole life. I mean, not my whole life, but ever since I was 11th grade going into 12th grade was oh wow, that was swag years,
And it's still pretty wild that we get to sit here on stage now.
Dude.
It's really wild.
And still all got
I never thought in my wildest
ticket going, we're in the game.
You got an award for selling weed, you got an award for growing weed.
Yeah. Came back to New York after so many years. I moved to California, got in the film business out there. But came back here to be closer to the family and reconnect with people here. I love the Finger Lakes area. I really do. There's a good vibe here, a great music scene. just a good scene in general. And don't get me wrong, I miss the weather in California. I miss the weather in San Diego, and hopefully one day I'll be able to retire back there, and like not retire, but like I'd say like when I am
we're getting older, but look at our foot.
when I am,
we want to be a snowbird is what we want.
Yes, when I am retired, maybe be out there like November to like April.
Yeah,
right?
till the shit's over.
May,
Yeah,
you know,
like I
where
said,
I'm
a
like,
snowbird.
all right,
Yeah.
said Thanksgiving, see you later. You know?
Messaging your New York homies like, yo, how's
Yeah.
the weather, my boy?
I got a couple deer in the fridge. I can go to California now. You know, so yeah.
Well, I really want to try and wrap this up a little bit here.
Yeah.
Hopefully everybody kind of enjoys a little insight of kind of us jibber-jabbing here at the Marijuana Minute. We're going to have a lot of things to come. We're going to bring as many different smaller farmers, bring in some other vendors, and really kind of make this as interesting and informative as well to everyone that tunes in. Hope you come see us next month. We'll let you know, and we look forward to seeing you. Thank you.
Peace.
Thank you.
Hell yeah. That's just great.
Yeah.
Nice.
Easy breezy.
All right, see, we're good at it because, like,
Yeah.